Hey guys! So I just filmed in this same outfit my mid-year book freakout tag, but I also wanted to do my kind of June wrap-up, even though I didn't actually join BookTube until like halfway through June. But yeah, and I only read 5 books, so whatever. I liked them, and some of them were a little bit more involved, so without further ado, the first book that I completed in June was A Darker Shade of Magic, and I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, that was the first one. I really enjoyed Lila and Kel. The big, huge thing I liked about this, okay, is that in that first book, in that book, if you haven't read it and you're going to, you might want to skip ahead because I'm going to say some things that I guess are spoilery. So, there's your warning. I'll put a timestamp when you can join again. But yeah, my big thing, I really like the world building. I really like the magic in it. I thought it was really cool, the whole Antari thing. But I really liked that even though I could tell there was potential for Kel and Lila to become love interests for each other, I was like, oh, I could see it going there. In that first book, they had a mission. They had a very important mission. They had a short amount of time to complete this mission. It was high stakes, adventure, a lot of stuff happening, and they didn't like fall in love in the midst of this like couple of days little adventure journey. That type of thing tends to drive me nuts usually, because I'm like, where do you have the time to fall in love with this person? You're kind of busy trying to, like save the world or whatever. So I really enjoyed that it was kept pretty platonic in that whole first book. It was just like getting the mission done, we're going. So yeah, I enjoyed it. The next book I finished is Ink and Bone, the Great Library series. And I wanted to love this so much because it's a book about libraries and like an evil library. And I didn't hate it at all. It was okay. I think I rated it like 3 stars. I started reading it months and months and months ago and got like 20 pages in and just was like, meh. And then I was like, I need to finish this. So I started it again and I finished it this month. And I was just kind of what I was just talking about with Darker Shade of Magic in this one. They had some mission to complete, right? And they're like in a literal war zone. And 2 characters like fell madly in love. And I was kind of irritated by it. The only reason I think it saved it a little bit for me is that they're teenagers. They're very young. So I guess I can kind of forgive it. I guess it's when you have teenage hormones, you could very well develop a super serious crush in the middle of a war zone. And I know people fall in love in war zones. Like, I'm not trying to say, like, if you're in a war zone, how dare you fall in love? That's impossible. No. But, I don't know. Sometimes it just seems unrealistic to me. Like, you're busy, you're tired, you're injured, you're sick, you're, half dead to the world because you're that injured for a while. And yet you have this, like, passionate love developed. I just don't exactly buy it. But yeah, I was a little disappointed with it. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to, but it wasn't a bad book. Then the next book I read was A Gathering of Shadows. It took me like 10 days to get through this, and that's why I'm kind of afraid of A Conjuring of Light, because it's so much bigger. It's probably going to take me like a month to read through it. But yeah, I really liked A Gathering of Shadows, and spoilery a little bit again, so another timestamp for you below if you need to skip ahead. So in this one, obviously Kel and Lila's relationship kind of is developing, but I liked how it was developed. It was a slow-going thing. After the first book, they didn't see each other. I liked Lila's part in this more than Kel's because I felt, I don't know, I don't want to say I didn't care for Kel in this book, but I just was kind of like, bro, stop. Like, you're being so moody and, like, whatever. And Rye, too. And I know, like, why, right? It just was still kind of annoying. how he was like pining after her so much. Where I felt like with Lila, it was just like, oh, she thought about him sometimes, and you know, whatever. I won't keep going into it because once I finish this trilogy, I'll probably do like a whole separate thing for it. But yeah, I really liked it, and I've said it once and I'll say it again. That freaking cliffhanger. Oh my god. So, yes, very excited to read the next one. And then I read A List of Cages, which I do not have anymore because it was a library book that I took back, so I'll put it somewhere. Yeah, it was, I never had really heard of it, and everybody on BookTube keeps, you know, ranting and raving about it and saying how good it is, and I liked it. I felt like it was, and this is probably weird because of the content matter, but I felt like it was like a really sweet book. Like, it was a really sweet, cute book, and obviously not because of things that happen to a certain character, but the characters themselves were just precious and adorable. Julian and Adam, like, I just love both of them. They were so precious to each other and all that. And I mean, it was a little bit predictable, I felt. Kind of knew where it was going. Pretty easy to see, you know, where it was going and how it was going to end. Like, I knew how it was going to end after all was said and done. But yeah, I still enjoyed it. I really liked it. And as I said in my mid-year book freakout tag, it was the one that got me closest to crying just because of one line, and I can't remember exactly what the line was towards the end, but it was where Julian and Adam were talking, and yeah, I can't remember what it was, but there's just one line he said that I was just like, oh, that's so precious. Just precious all over the place. And then the last book I finished in June was Missborne, the first in that series, and that I think is a trilogy. And I loved it. It was kind of slow in the middle, not gonna lie. I'm gonna go into a whole like separate book chat for that, but it was a little difficult to get through in the middle part, but the last like 150 pages was awesome, and the book as a whole was great. The world building was awesome. The characters were great. And then I am reading this, which I don't know, I might finish tonight, depending. I don't think I'm doing anything tonight, so I could potentially finish this either tonight or tomorrow, which I know tomorrow's technically July, but I'm a third of the way through it, and it's a pretty easy read so far, but it's The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. So yeah, that's what I read in June. Hopefully I have a few more in July, just because my TBR list is out of control. And I mean, as is everyone else's here, right? We are in this together. Thank you for viewing again, guys. Really appreciate it. Leave your comments below if you've read any of these books, if maybe you want to read any of the books. If you read them and you have disagreeing opinions with me, let me know. And that is all for now. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.